Hey folks, Luke at Nowhere Special. We are doing cognac today, and to give you guys a little info on what cognac is before I get started, obviously there's brandy. Brandy is kind of its own beast, but it can be essentially cognac that's not from Cognac, which is a region in France. To be called cognac, it has to come from France. There's a whole organization, which one of these cognacs, I'll get into it, about the integrity of cognac. So cognac is essentially distilled grapes, and that's what makes cognac or brandy. Brandy can also be other fruits. So V.S.O.P, and X.O, which are on almost all cognac. See, I'm confused now. All cognac labels. VS, just to give you guys like kind of a ballpark, they recently just changed the regulations on it. But to give you a ballpark on the idea of it, VS means that the cognac, the juice in the bottle, is at least 2 years old. V.S.O.P is 4. XO or Napoleon is 6. Now that they do vary. They can have. I think they just made the ages actually older now. But whatever. Like I said, it's a ballpark just to give you guys an idea. So I'm starting out with Hardy Cognac. Looking at the bottle, it reminded me. There's also 2 major reasons of cognac producers. And cognac comes from champagne grapes, and so you have Grand Champagne and Petit Champagne. And Petit Champagne always kind of got the, French, they always do this with their own products. Petit Champagne is what is perceived in France to be of lesser quality than Grand Champagne, and you can get, so like all the big fancy guys are 100% Grand Champagnes. So you have Petit, Grand, and then you have Fine. You'll see those on your labels. What Fine Champagne is it's a blend. It's a blend of Grand and Petit Champagne. Now getting on to the booze. Hardy, VS, Fine Champagne. So 2-year-old, at least 2 years old, and a blend of Grand and Petit Champagne. Let's give it a sniff. That was a lot of talking about cognac and champagne. I need a drink now. So you get a lot of vanilla in this guy. You get some really deep, like honey. Cognac, in my opinion, has a lot of dried fruit in it. And this one you can definitely smell like apricot and maybe some plum, and then you get some oak. It's very nice, kind of sweet nose cognac. It's pretty nice. I would say, just right off the bat, I'd say it's probably a good mixing cognac. It comes off, it's not very nuanced. It's pretty, I'm getting syrup now, but let me go through my process again. So it starts out, you get some sweetness, you get a little honey, and kind of goes into a little bit of baking spices, and then it gets pretty syrupy, and then you hit your oak. It is nice. I think it's more of a mixer than a sipper that could go really well into some cocktails. Ice would probably open this up a little more. But it's not very nuanced. It's pretty simple. It is nice. It's light too. Like putting some ice on this, and hot days in New York right now. Be nice. Let's move on to, I don't know which one I'm gonna do yet, but I'll figure it out when we get there. I figured it out. We're doing De Marsy. It is a V.S.O.P, so it's aged at least 4 years, and it is also a fine cognac. If you look at the bottle, it says Appellation Cognac Contrôlé, I don't know how to say it, and that's the regulating organization that I was talking about. You see that on a French bottle, it like they have their own little standards, but it means basically everything came from France. It was made in a certain way that respects the history and the culture behind how it was made. So it's a super French product and made in a very, very French way, essentially. So this one has, its nose is a little sweeter. There's a lot more zest into it. You get a little orange. It's It's very, very nice and zesty on the citrus. Let's give it a taste. You also get like stereotypical dried fruits and vanilla and a little oak. I mean that's like, you sniff a cognac and that's what you're gonna get. Starts out very, very light. Finishes with a little pepper. Starts out light, you kind of get a little sweetness arc, and then you get some citrus notes. And then you get like a little bit of pepper at the end, and then like now it's just sitting on my tongue and it's just sweet, oaky, and kind of burny. It's really nice. That's a really nice cognac. James uses this guy in his Sazeracs. It's definitely a great mixing. Again, I think this is kind of a motif in fine champagnes. Fine champagnes, cognacs are very good little mixing cognacs. And then next up, we are going to move into a petite champagne. So let's give that a taste. All right, now we're getting super French. We are doing Reviseur, V.S.O.P cognac, so it's aged at least 4 years. It is a petite champagne, which is the French have, if you guys have ever heard of Beaujolais wines, it's kind of like the wine that's not Burgundy, it's the dirty little French grape. So we're doing the dirty little cognac, right? Dirty little French cognac. And honestly, I think it smells divine. It's a lot fuller bodied than the other ones. The nose there's a lot more going on. There's like pretty much like again, cognac, stereotypical, like vanilla, apricot, some orange and citrus. And then there's like almost like, it smells like peppers in here, like green peppers. And there's a lot, like the orange is much bolder in this guy. Let's give it a taste. Oh wow. For some dirty little French champagne, it's a pretty good cognac. I'm gonna do that again. I'm really impressed with this guy. Starts out very sweet on the tongue, and then it kind of rolls into its like little molasses, baking spices. It's a little hotter than the other ones. There's kind of molasses in the back. It's a lot deeper than the other ones. I think most cognacs are fairly similar in terms of like the flavors that you get from them. I think where it really stands out is when you get into finer cognacs, is those flavors become like stronger, bolder, more pronounced, more in depth. And this guy is definitely has the most depth out of all of these. It has the most flavor. It's also the biggest. Like, I mean, there's a lot of things that come through with this guy. It's kind of funny, it's just how sweet it starts out. Like, it almost tastes like it's like a lighter brown liquor in your mouth, and then it just completely changes that. It's really good. I enjoy that guy a lot, and I hope you do too.